Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Okay, playback speed is correct for once. I'm going to start it out correctly. So we should be able to get through a good chunk today. Yes, sir.
To 763, line 7. You have it? Do you have it? Excuse me. Will you ask these questions and did you give these answers? Question. And
Sustain.
well, Ms. Mazzola, when you were asked this morning about sessions you had where Ms. Kessler was present, had you simply forgotten this meeting with Ms. Kessler and the two detective investigators?
Sustain. It's already been asked and answered.
When was the first time, Ms. Mazzola, you saw the videotape of you carrying the black trash bag from Mr. Simpson's house?
I believe I saw it on TV, on regular news.
And when was the first time that you saw the videotape of Fung standing in the foyer holding something in his hands?
I don't know, maybe a week ago or so. I'm not positive the exact date.
And when, Ms. Mazzola, was the first time that you told the prosecutors that you had left Mr. Fung's side and sat on the couch with your eyes closed?
That was a while ago.
When?
I don't remember exactly when.
You don't remember which meeting it was with the prosecutors?
No.
Who was present?
I don't remember the exact people.
Well, as best you can recall, give me the names of the people who were there.
I can't recall.
Do you recall where this discussion took place?
Yes.
Or will take place in this building.
Yes, it did.
And Ms. Mazzola, you say now that you collected items 15 and 16 later than 1700 hours. Is that correct?
I collected one of those items, yes.
And that item was item 16?
Counsel, we've been over this.
It's just foundation going to something else, and then actually I'm going to be finished with this subject in about 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
16.
But you were present when Mr. Fung collected item 15, is that right?
I was not in the exact room with him when he collected a 15.
After he collected item 15, did he give it to you to hold?
Yes.
And so you were holding items 15 and 16.
Yes.
And what did you do with items 15 and 16?
The detectives, Mr.
It has.
Not this, Your Honor. This has not been asked at all. What she did with items 15 and 16 at the point that she collected them in the house.
Court stands corrected. You understand the question?
I believe so.
Go ahead and answer the question.
They went looking for a bag that we could put the items in because of all the media outside.
And you were present when a detective was asked to do that?
There were several looking for something to put the items in.
And were you present when somebody came back with a garbage bag?
Yes.
And was that garbage bag handed to you because you had those items?
Yes.
And what did you do with the items after you were given the trash bag?
Put the items in the bag.
And the items you put in the bag were items 15 and 16?
Yes.
Then you continue to hold the bag?
For a short while.
And during that short while, you were standing in the foyer?
I don't recall where I was standing exactly.
Well, you were with Dennis Fung, weren't you?
At that point, yes.
And then there came a time when you said you sat down on the couch.
Yes.
And you would agree that your testimony about sitting down on the couch and leaving Dennis Fung's side is inconsistent with your testimony on August 23rd when you testified you were with him the whole time. Isn't that correct?
Oh. But you need to give us page and line and testimony, counsel.
Page 762. Beginning of line 24.
As phrased this question, states
No.
Why don't you read the question and answer? But we've already read this question and answer
I
before.
know, that's why I'm saving time, Your Honor. I'm trying to save time.
Well, I object to this.
Read it. It's brief.
I'm sorry?
Read it. It is brief.
Okay. On August 23rd, when you testified under oath, were you asked this question, did you give this answer? Question, were you with Mr. Fung the entire time after you picked up that last item at 1700 hours until you departed for your next destination? Answer, I believe I was, yes. You asked that question, did you give that answer under oath on August 23rd?
Yes.
And you're saying now, at this trial, that that's not correct.
At that time, I believed I had been at his side the whole time.
And now you believe that you left his side, is that correct?
Now I know I was not at his side the entire time.
And did you see any photographs to help you to change your recollection with regard to that?
No,
Did you see or review any reports or documents to change your recollection as to what you did vis-a-vis staying by Mr. Fung's side the entire time?
no,
Did you talk to any person who suggested to you that you had left Mr. Fung's side and went into the living room and closed your eyes?
no,
So is it fair to say that there were no external documents, reports, photographs, videotapes, or conversations with anyone else that helped you to change your mind from your testimony on August 23rd, 1994? Is that correct?
that's correct.
And isn't it fair to say, ma'am, that on August 23rd, 1994, your recollection of where you were at Mr. Simpson's house at approximately 5 or 5:30 was better than it is now 10 months later?
Not necessarily.
Do you believe, ma'am, that with the passage of those additional months, your memory becomes sharper?
Up until the Griffin hearing, I had not really thought of the case at all. Since then, I have been thinking about it.
This case, Ms. Mazzola, was, as you said, the first case where you were primarily responsible for evidence collection, correct?
Correct.
And this case had received a tremendous amount of publicity from the very day that you were involved in the collection until the time that you testified at the Griffin hearing, didn't you? Didn't it?
Yes.
And you followed that publicity because you were involved in the case, didn't you?
No.
You didn't follow any of it?
I tried to avoid it.
You didn't watch it on television?
If I could get away with it, no.
You didn't read about it in the newspapers?
No.
Even though it involved your own personal involvement?
Yes.
Now, in your current memory of what transpired back in Mr. Simpson's house, after you left Mr. Fung's side, where did you go?
I went into the living room.
And was that after about, what, 5 or 10 minutes standing in the foyer with Mr. Fung?
I don't recall where I was standing with Mr. Fung, and I don't recall how long.
Well, you said that you first came into the house, and on the way in, you picked up item 16, right?
Correct.
And then a couple of minutes later, a few minutes later, Mr. Fung picked up item 15. Isn't that right?
Correct.
And then you were standing in the foyer with Mr. Fung and with other detectives. Isn't that right?
I did not believe that we were standing in the foyer. It could have been in the kitchen. I don't recall.
And you were standing there with other detectives.
Correct.
And during those minutes that you were standing there, you asked if someone could get you a trash bag to put items in.
I believe Mr. Fung and others went looking for a bag.
And then someone brought a bag back for you.
Correct.
And you put the items 15 and 16 into that bag.
Correct.
And did you also put the cards, those photo ID cards back into the bag at that point?
Yes.
You put them in.
Yes.
And you held that bag.
Yes.
And then you walked into the living room to sit down.
At some point, yes.
And didn't you take that bag with you when you went to sit down?
I don't believe I had the bag at my side when I went to sit down.
Why did you give up the bag, ma'am?
There was no reason to carry it with me.
What'd you do? Did you put it on the floor?
I believe I had put it out where we had our kits previously in the foyer.
Where were your kits?
In the foyer.
And you simply left this bag with evidence in it next to your kit in the foyer?
The kit was not there, but that is where we had the kits before, and the area was secured.
And you simply left it there and then walked into the living room?
Yes.
And after you went to the living room, you then sat down on the couch?
I sat down, yes.
And as you sit here today, ma'am, do you have an independent recollection of your eyes being closed while you're sitting in that living room couch?
I believe they were closed for a partial period of the time.
Ms. Mazzola, did you invent this notion that your eyes were closed so that Mr. Fung could testify that he received the vial without you seeing it?
Sustained.
Ms. Mazzola, do you have an independent recollection without the help of a videotape of you picking up the hat and the glove at Bundy without seeing that videotape?
Not a clear recollection, no.
Yet you have an independent recollection that while you were sitting on a couch, you closed your eyes? You have that recollection 10 months later?
Yes.
Your Honor, subject to the other items of evidence, I have to suspend the cross-examination at this point.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of physical evidence items that are not available to the court at this moment that Mr. Neufeld wanted to ask questions about. rather than waste additional court time waiting for those items to be brought to court, which I anticipate will be happen today, I'm going to ask Mr. Goldberg to commence with his redirect examination. Mr. Goldberg, are you ready to commence, or do you need a few moments? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take about 10 minutes just to recycle the lawyers. Ms. Mazzola, you may step down, and we'll call you back in about 10 minutes. All right, thank you. Back on the record, all parties are again present. The jury is not present. Mr. Goldberg, are you prepared to commence? Mr. Neufeld, let me just ask you one quick question before the topic leaves my thought process here. I noted a number of times, 3 times in particular, during the course of your cross-examination of Ms. Mazzola, while you were standing, I saw you turn in response to noises made in the audience, specifically by the cameras. Was that distracting you?
Not that I'm aware of. That's the same answer, but no, it doesn't.
All right, let's have the jurors, please.
Your Honor, he also showed me some photographs he wanted to use, and I told him I objected them. I don't know if you want to do it before
Yes.
the jury comes in.
Hold them. Let's see them.
I'm sorry, I didn't what you said. You want to see them?
Yes,
May I approach?
you may. I've seen the 2 photographs, Mr. Goldberg. What's the relevance and need for those?
The relevance of this is that they show a variety of stains in the area where item number 12 was collected inside the foyer of the home, 3 of which appeared to be the stains that were collected by Ms. Mazzola and Dennis Fung, 3 of which appear not to be. And the proffer is that there were additional stains in that area. It goes to the issue of taking representative samples. It goes to the issue of the criminalist not necessarily being able to spot or spotting each and every tiny little stain that was in that house. The defense has seemed to suggest that they have some sort of a homing device for blood, and if there's a tiny little speck of blood somewhere, they're going to find it. And what we're trying to show is no, they're human beings, and that there can be things, little specks that are overlooked. In this case, there apparently were.
What's the, tell me about those photographs.
These are photographs that were provided to us in defense discovery. So obviously they were taken after the time of the crime. And my proffer as to how they can be linked up is that the jury can do it themselves. Because if you compare these carefully to the photograph that contains item number 12, which actually happens to be one of these photographs, you can see that 3 of the stains are in fact the same as 3 of the stains in the defense photograph. So obviously it was taken after. It's obviously of the Rockingham location. This witness can identify that.
Is that Dr. Lee who's in one of those photographs?
Yes.
Your Honor, number one, there's no foundation as to when these other stains are observed. More importantly, Your Honor, what's in that picture, if you take a look, are cards with swabs on them, and the swabs are they appear to be greenish black in color. So this witness testified about some presumptive test that she did, where swabs turn magenta. There's no foundation as to what these swabs that are green or greenish blue or greenish black are actually showing here. And since we don't know when it was taken, when the stains existed, number 2, since the stains are not red on those cards but show these different swabs, I think there's frankly a likelihood here that it's going to confuse the jury. It's certainly going to necessarily distort the meaning of those cards, because I don't even think this witness is qualified to interpret what's going on those cards with those swabs that have turned green.
I take that as a foundational objection.
Foundation N352.
Mr. Goldberg?
I don't know. It didn't seem to me that we were requiring witnesses to have been present at the time the
Hi,
photographs
Mike.
were taken
Nope.
when they were asked.
We've already streamed for 2 hours so far.
Observe the events that were depicted in the photograph or the videotape. And this seems to be consistent.
Such as?
Well, such as witnesses testifying about a videotape seeing Detective Van Adder drive up when they weren't present.
Oh gosh, you're a lawyer and you're in here and you're watching the OJ case with lawyers, and the lawyers are so frustrating. Your blood pressure is about to go sky high if you stay in this OJ case. I'm just telling you now. It's bad. We scream at our monitors every single day.
The objection was withdrawn.
But I think there have been other instances, and there was an instance where a witness was shown pictures of a police officer walking up the driveway. These witnesses have been shown photographs that were taken of the crime scene prior to when their evidence collection took place to show that items were moved. They had no personal knowledge of that. You can authenticate a photograph in a number of different ways. I'm not suggesting that those rulings are necessarily
Train wrong.
I'm
It's a
suggesting
nightmare.
this is consistent with those rulings in the sense that that you can lay a foundation for a photograph by having a witness say, do you recognize the foyer? Yeah, I recognize the foyer. How do you do it? Because I was there.
How do I know what Dr. Lee is doing there?
Excuse me?
How do I know what Dr. Lee is doing there?
What he's doing there?
How do I know what it is he's doing there and what the significance is of those swabs?
Well, it doesn't make any difference what the significance of the swabs is. The point is that you can see areas where there are tiny little, or appear to be tiny little stains. Admittedly, the resolution on the photograph isn't great, but you can see that. And they also appear to match up with stains that we know are there because we saw them in the photograph number, with item number 12.
All right. All right, thank you, counsel. The foundational objection will be sustained. Let's have the jury.
We all wonder every single stream how many things have changed because of this trial, because of just how bad everything was. We've been at this for months and they barely even spoke about the murders yet at all. They talked about dogs barking, they talked about change on the ground. No, nothing about the murders though.
We're going to stop with the jury at 4 o'clock. We have some doctor's appointments. We're going to set a schedule for that. Andrea Mazzola is again on the witness stand now, undergoing redirect examination by Mr. Goldberg.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Mazzola.
Good afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen. Now, Ms. Mazzola, are you part of some kind of police conspiracy involving a number of people to frame the defendant in this case?
No, I'm not.
Okay. And are you part of some sort of cover-up, to cover up for Dennis Fung, who's allegedly covering up for people who are allegedly engaged in some kind of conspiracy in this case?
Rephrase the question.
Are you involved in any cover-up with respect to this case, Ms. Mazzola?
No.
All right. Now, I want to ask you a few questions about the discussions that you've had with me before your testimony. Can you tell us in general terms what the nature of the discussions were?
It's more or less of a question and answer type of discussion.
Did I want to know details, a lot of details about evidence collection and the activities that you were engaged in on the 13th and 14th?
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
What kinds of issues did I want to know about generally?
Generally, what occurred on the 13th, 14th, basically our backgrounds, just general information.
And did anyone at all, anyone from the laboratory, anyone from law enforcement, friends, family members, anyone ever try to put any pressure on you to change your testimony or alter your testimony in any way?
No.
Did you ever get the idea that someone wanted you to change or alter your testimony in any way?
No.
Now, I want to ask you a few questions about the collection procedures at Rockingham and Bundy. And first of all, as a criminalist, what all does the issue of collection involve?
Collection includes the documentation, the photography, sketches, measurements, the brief descriptions we make of the item we're picking up, and then the physically picking up the item itself, packaging it.
And as I believe counsel pointed out in cross-examination, could you even include the packaging phase in that collection process as well?
Yes, of course.
And the writing that you put on the packaging?
That is part of it, yes.
Right. Now, in terms of who physically picked up which pieces of evidence, did you believe that there was any relevance to that when you were at the scenes on the 13th?
Objection was to the relevance of whether she believed something was relevant.
At the time,
I'm 100% sure these defense attorneys did not go interview all the witnesses. I mean, maybe some. They did not put together all their reports. They did not type up their own motions. Does that mean they didn't do the lawyering?
no, we didn't believe that it mattered which one of us picked up which item.
Why not?
Objection is to her testimony about what someone else
Well,
believes.
counsel, read the directive again. Proceed.
Why not?
No
Because
talking
we
objections.
were working as a team.
Now, was there any other criminalist who was out there, either at the Bundy location or the Rockingham location, that was collecting evidence other than yourself and Mr. Fung? And when I say collecting, I mean physically picking things up. Or were you two doing that?
Mr. Fung and myself, for the most part, was doing that. Yes.
Was there one item, item number 10? I don't know if you know this. Do you know who collected item number 10? That was a plastic bag, a blue plastic bag at the Rockingham location.
I do not know who picked that up. No.
Okay, but with respect to items number 1 through 9 at Rockingham, did you and Mr. Fung pick those up physically?
Yes.
And then when you came back to the Rockingham location 11 through 16, did you physically pick up those from the location, you and Mr. Fung?
Objection, Your Honor. I would simply ask that the witness be asked what she did or what he did, but not you collectively.
All right, you can clarify that.
Were all of those picked up either by you or Mr. Fung?
Yes.
And with respect to the blood stains at Bundy, were all of those picked up by either you or Mr. Fung?
Yes.
Did any of these items fly into the coin envelopes?
No.
All right. And had you ever been told or received any training to the effect that it was important or necessary to specify who did the physical picking up of an item when you were working as a team with another criminalist?
I had seen it both ways.
So as far as you were concerned, it was an issue that was left to the discretion of the criminalist?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
Was it an issue that was left to the discretion of the criminalist?
At that point, I believed it was.
Now, you testified at some point at a hearing that we referred to as a Griffin hearing in August of last year.
Yes.
And at that hearing, you said that you hadn't had time to prepare yourself for the testimony that you were going to give.
Objection, leading.
Rules Foundation.
Yes.
Now, had you been thinking about this case between the 13th, or let's say between the 14th, and the time that you testified at the Griffin hearing?
No, not really.
When you arrived at the Rockingham location, had you ever heard of someone named Orenthal Simpson, commonly known as O.J. Simpson?
At that morning, it did not ring a bell in my mind.
You didn't have any conception that there was a sports figure or a television personality or movie personality that went by that name when you arrived at the scene?
Sustained.
Had you any conception of that when you arrived at the scene?
No.
And when did you first become aware that Orenthal Simpson was someone of public notoriety?
Mr. Fung, after he was done with the detectives, he came and kept saying it's OJ's house, it's Mr. Simpson's house, and I said, OJ who? And he said movie, sports, and it just did not ring a bell.
Do you have some special interest in this man over here, the defendant?
No.
Overruled.
She's lying.
Do you have
She
some
knew.
special interest in this case over and above any other case that you've handled as a criminalist?
No, they're all important.
Now, after the Griffin hearing, you said that you and Mr. Fung got together and tried to go through who collected what physically. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And why did you do that?
Because it appeared that it would become an issue about who physically picked up what
When you say it had become an issue, by whom?
by the defense.
Had anyone else ever told you that they thought it was an issue other than what you gathered from the defense?
No.
When you and Mr. Fung were going through this information, were you trying to gather information that the defense seemed to be interested in terms of who collected what?
Objection and speculation on the part.
It's irrelevant.
At that time, did you personally think that it was relevant yourself as opposed to simply thinking the defense was interested in it?
Objection to relevant what she thinks.
Overruled. Closer to state of mind. You can answer the question.
Oh, sorry. Personally, I didn't see if it really mattered, but apparently it did to the defense.
Objection as to whether apparent.
All right. The apparently part that it mattered to the defense is stricken. Juries to disregard that as being non-responsive. Proceed.
Now, you said that you looked at some materials after the Griffin hearing in order to refresh your recollection. Were any of those materials photographs?
Yes, they were.
Did you look at still photographs?
Yes.
And how did the still photographs help you in any way to refresh your recollection that you looked at after the Griffin hearing?
It brought back what the scene actually looked like, where things were, what the whole area was like.
Okay, now in your experience, do you tend to remember things better when they're written down or when they're presented to you visually?
I tend to retain things more when I see photographs.
And when you were going through the materials with Mr. Fung, for example, and you were directing your attention to stain 47, for instance, did you have a set of photographs in front of you to try to look and see what stain 47 looked like, where
No,
it was?
no.
So you did that later on after that session with Mr. Fung?
Yes.
Now, when you were having this session with Mr. Fung, did you come to the conclusion that with respect to stain 52, which you've testified was the last stain in the driveway in Bundy, did you come to any conclusion with respect to that stain as to whether or not Mr. Fung was present when it was physically collected?
At that point, at that meeting, I was not sure if Mr. Fung had been present or not.
Was it at some point after that meeting that you came to the conclusion that he was not present during that stain, the physical collection?
Yes.
And was there any reason in your mind why you would possibly think that it would be helpful to the prosecution or helpful to you in your testimony
Overruled.
to testify that Mr. Fung was not present during the physical collection of stain 52?
I didn't see that it would matter.
So that's just what you were called.
Correct.
And you've testified to that because, to the best of your recollection, that's what happened?
Sustained.
Why have you testified to that, ma'am?
Because that's what I remembered.
For any other reason?
No.
All right. Now, you said that as to the stains at Rockingham, you started the physical collection with Mr. Fung at 9 a.m. Is that correct?
It was around there.
Did you have to go through any other steps in the collection process prior to that time when the physical collection took place?
To actually lifting the stain, yes.
And what steps were those that you went through prior to the physical collection?
The area had to be photographed. It had to be sketched. It had to be measured. Then we wrote all this down in our notes, the measurements, a brief description, and then it was physically collected.
And did you do all of that measuring and photoing and documenting before any of the stains were physically collected, that other than the Bronco stain?
All of them, yes.
And in terms of the collection process, which would you say takes more time between the physical collection of the stains at Rockingham and the documentation phase of the collection process?
Now, the documentation takes much longer than the collection itself.
Now, I wanted to read a portion of the Griffin hearing, Your Honor. It's at page 723.
Starting work, counsel.
It's starting on page 723, line 26. Oh, excuse me, line 20 through page 724, line 4.
Mr. Neufeld, do you have that? All right, proceed.
At the Griffin hearing, do you recall testifying to the following questions? Question, with respect to item number 6, did you collect that blood? Answer, yes. Question, by the way, you said that for some of these specimens, you were observed by Mr. Fung. When you say you were observed, do you mean that he was collecting stains in the same vicinity as you, so he could see basically what you were doing? Is that what you mean by observing? Answer, on the stains that were collected in the driveway, we were working side by side. Question, when you say you were working side by side, do you mean that he stood or knelt directly next to you as you lifted each stain? Answer, yes. Do you recall giving those answers to the questions that I just read?
I believe so, yes.
And when you were saying that you were working side by side, what did you mean to convey by working side by side?
Or you can ask what working side by side means.
What does working side by side mean?
That we physically were both there at the same item at the same time. Either one of us was physically collecting it and bagging it, or the other person was helping, passing items that we need.
And to your recollection, when you were physically doing swatching at Rockingham on the stains that you were referring to in that testimony, was Mr. Fung kneeling down as opposed to standing up?
He was kneeling some of the time and standing the other time.
And when he was kneeling down, for what purpose, if you recall?
On some of the items, he took a few swatches himself to collect a little more blood.
And to your recollection at the Griffin hearing, did anyone ever ask for greater clarification as to what you meant by working side by side?
Sustain, rephrase the question.
Did anyone ever ask you at the Griffin hearing to explain what you meant specifically by the phrase working side by side?
I don't believe so.
So the only follow-up question was when you say you were working side by side, you mean he stood or knelt directly next to you as you lifted each stain?
Sustained.
Yes.
Sustained.
What grounds?
It's leading. It's not a question.
Was the only question you were asked. If I may read the question and answer. Question, when you say you were working side by side, you mean he stood or knelt directly next to you as you lifted each stain? Answer, yes. To your recollection.
To the best I can remember, yes.
Now, at this point in time, with respect to stains number 4, 5, and 6, do you specifically recall for each one of those stains, specifically, which swatches Mr. Fung may have taken as opposed to which swatches you may have taken?
Guys, that's brutal. She is still on the stand here, and we don't know about these videos until he gets on the stand. She could be in here. Oh, this poor lady, leave her alone. Enough already.
No, I don't remember exactly which ones.
Okay. And at the time that you were taking those swatches, did you believe that it was important to recall exactly which swatches Mr. Fung did as opposed to which swatches you did?
No.
Strike the answer.
Oh, cancel stand.
At this time, I'd like to take a look at the evidence collection boards. Looks like it's 170, 172.
All right. All right, People's 162. Which scene are we starting with?
No, these are the evidence collection
I see.
boards.
Okay.
They're the ones that show the, excuse me, the disposition boards.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was right the first time. It was 172. Now, Ms. Mazzola, I want to ask you some questions about these boards that council didn't want to ask you about yesterday.
Sustained. Counsel, you know that's not appropriate.
Let me ask you about some other items here, Ms. Mazzola. Now, with respect to the socks, item number 13, can you see that on the board?
No, I can't make.
Yeah. Now, with respect to that item, does that say Fung and Mazzola? This is the socks, number 13.
Yes, it does.
And in terms of the physical collection on item number 13, who did the physical collection on that?
Mr. Fung physically picked up the socks in the bag.
And did you work in a situation where, for some reason, he took like the ankle and you took the toe and you both put the same sock into the bag?
No.
Right. And on the property reports that were generated in connection with this case, does it indicate that item number 13 was collected by Fung and Mazzola?
Yes.
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Have you looked at the property reports in this case?
Yes, I have.
And do they indicate that the items that are reflected on this chart, let's say 6 through 13, were in fact collected by Fung and Mazzola?
Sustained.
What?
Sustained. It's leading.
What do they indicate in terms of who collected those items?
For what?
That both myself and Mr. Fung both collected the items of
Now, with respect to item number 13, did you in fact participate in aspects of the collection procedure in terms of measuring and documenting and that sort of thing?
Yes, I did.
Now, with respect to item number 23, do you know whether that is an item that comes from the Bronco, or would you have to refer to documentation to confirm that?
I would have to look at the document.
Can you please do so?
Property item number.
Property item number.
Yes, I can. Bronco.
Okay, and on this board, does it indicate that item number 23 was collected by Fund Missoula?
Yes, it does.
Does 24 come from the Bronco?
Yes, it does.
And does that indicate that it was collected by Fund Missoula or Fund Missoula?
Yes, it does.
And the physical swatching on those,
Plug the flashlight, help measure, do the sketches, do the brief descriptions of the items, whatever you needed.
perhaps we can see the next board. Shuttle this down so that the jurors on the end can see it. Excuse me, I want to ask you a question about this. All right, well,
All right, Ms. Mazzola, could you try to keep your voice up, please?
Ms. Mazzola, I'm sorry, I forgot about this. Item number 9. What item is that?
That is one of the gloves.
Is that the glove that came from the Rockingham location?
Make sure. Yes.
And in terms of the physical collection on number 9, who did the physical collection?
I've seen bigger.
Mr. Fung,
But the board says Fund Missoula.
correct.
And did you participate in any way in the documentation and other aspects of the collection procedure with respect to 9?
I helped measure.
All right, thank you, counsel.
In 1994, I was driving an Infinity
You may.
G something, G14, I don't remember, G something, an Infinity. Because that was before kids. So I had some, money to buy a car with, not whatever I could get. You were driving a Mazda RX-7 in 1994? I wanted a Miata in 1994 so badly. Mazda Miata.
I'd like to ask you about stains 55 and 56. Can you tell us which stains those were?
Yes, those were stains that were collected from the shoe prints that were found.
Who did the physical swatching on 55 and 56?
Mr. Fung,
And on this board, it says Fund Missoula.
correct.
Did you participate, however, in the collection procedure on those stains?
Yes, I did.
And on the property reports, who did they indicate was responsible for collecting these items at Bundy?
Both Mr. Fung and myself.
And when you say you participated, in what way in the collection process?
Measuring, things like that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Mr. Goldberg.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Mazzola, I'd like to turn to another issue at Rockingham, the Rockingham location. That's the crime scene identification checklist. Now, you said that you wrote your name in the column that says officer in charge.
Correct.
Now, did you somehow let that designation go to your head and run around the crime scene telling people that you were the officer in charge and ordering people around and the like?
Oh,
No,
Did it affect you in any way that your name was on that column?
not in any way, no.
Did it affect your performance in any way that your name was in that column?
No,
And could have it affected your performance in terms of the way that you swatched stains at the Rockingham location?
sustained.
Did it affect your performance in swatching stains?
no,
Now, that item was written in pencil,
yes, it was.
so you could have erased it.
Oh,
Yes,
And
I'm sorry. Sustained, it is speculative. But the answer that it's in pencil, the jury can figure that out for themselves.
did you
Jury should
erase it?
disregard that last question and answer.
Did you erase it?
no.
Why not?
It never seemed to be an issue.
Were you ever at any time trying to downplay or minimize your involvement at the crime scene?
No,
Now, in the foyer area of the Rockingham location, do you recall seeing any other drops in that location other than the 3 that were collected as stain 12?
no, not at the time.
And with respect to those 3 drops that were collected as stain 12, who decided to collect them as a single stain, single item?
Mr. Fung,
Now, you were asked whether you could see or you saw any blood on the banister. Do you recall that?
yes,
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to mark as people's next in order. It's Exhibit 201,
People's 201.
a photograph of what appears to be the banister.
All right, have you shown that to Mr. Neufeld?
I thought I had. I'll show it to you again. On the back, I'd like to write 201. Just
Yes.
All right. I can't put it on the envelope. Ms. Mazzola, direct your attention to the photograph that's been marked People's 201. Does that appear to be the banister that leads up from the foyer area of the Rockingham location?
yes, it does.
And does this appear to depict the way it looked on the 13th?
Yes,
Was that a dark banister?
it was medium to darkish wood.
And would have it been difficult to see little flakes or specks of blood on that banister?
Rephrase the question.
How easy would have it been for you to have seen tiny little flakes or specks of blood on that banister?
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Okay. With respect to the coloration that dried blood typically has in your experience, how does it compare to the banister?
Based on younger scope of expertise.
Oh,
They would be sort of similar in color.
And would you expect to see the same degree of contrast of specks of blood on the banister as off a white wall, say?
No,
Thank you. Now, with respect to the stain on item number 11, what side of the house was that collected from?
that was collected on the side of the house near the guest quarters.
Was that the same side of the house where the glove number 9 was collected by Mr. Fung?
Yes, it was.
And in what we refer to as, I think, the walkway area.
There is a pathway back there.
And that was on what type of an item, stain 11?
It was on a wire.
Now, could you actually see a physical stain?
I personally couldn't.
So what did you do when you were collecting from that area?
Sidebar.
oh,
Wait, I'm not asking for any test results, but what did you physically do when you were collecting from that area?
I took a control from an area as far away from that area where the stain was supposed to be. I swabbed the area, took swatches of the area that contained the stain area.
But you couldn't see it?
I personally couldn't know.
Now, in the afternoon when you left the Rockingham location, did you have a plastic trash bag in your hand when you left for the last time?
Yes.
And did you have an independent recollection of that prior to seeing a videotape that depicted that scene?
I knew that I had carried out a plastic trash bag.
Now, you said that at some point you figured out that the package containing the vial of blood was in the plastic trash bag. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when did you figure that out?
I realized that the next day at the lab in evidence processing.
How?
The bag was on the table and it contained the two items that I remembered that Mr. Fung and myself had collected, and the gray envelope was also there.
Did you think that there was any significance up to that period of time, exactly what transpired with respect to that blood vial between the time that it was received and the time that you saw it on the morning of the 14th?
No, not really.
Do you handle blood vials all the time in your occupation?
In toxicology, we handle blood quite a bit.
And when you say handle, what do you mean by that?
Physically open the vials, take samples out, work the samples, handle the samples.
So you mean some sort of physical manipulation with the sample?
Correct.
And did you ever do any handling of the blood vial sample in this case, in that sense?
No.
Now, you said that you collected, and Mr. Fung collected in item 15 and 16.
Correct.
And when is it that you documented in the crime scene identification checklist those two items?
It was the next day
Why was it the next day?
because our notes were locked in the back of the truck when we left Rockingham for the last time and didn't have a chance to do it at that time.
Why didn't you document those when you got back to the laboratory in the evening of the 13th?
Well, our main priority was to get the blood swatches drying.
So then, with respect to items 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, when was the documentation on those items done in the crime scene identification checklist?
They were done the following day
On the
on the
14th.
14th.
Where did the 5 o'clock time period come from with respect to the collection on 15 and 16?
That was the time that I had thought that we had collected those two items, 15 and 16.
And at the time of the Griffin hearing, did you believe that you had left shortly after 5 o'clock?
That's what I had believed, yes.
And when did you learn that that wasn't the case?
One was from the videotapes, and another was from the envelope that contained the blood sample from Mr. Simpson.
What was on the envelope that caused you to believe that you hadn't left shortly after 5?
There was a time written down that it had been received.
Now, perhaps we could see the exhibit that's been marked as People's 186 for identification. Starting with the scene where Mr. Zolos is leaving the location. Now, at 17:11:53, you were putting the items that you had collected and your collection kits back in the vehicle.
Correct.
But you believe that 15 and 16 had not been collected at this time?
Correct.
If you could just take a look at the package that Mr. Fung's holding in his hands. I know you've seen it before. Maybe we can stop for a second. Now, with respect to the package that Mr. Fung was holding in his hands, was that consistent with any other item that you collected or Mr. Fung collected in your presence at the Rockingham location after 5/11?
No.
Okay, let's continue. Let's just stop again for a second. So just to be more specific, without telling us what they were, is that item consistent with 15 or 16?
No.
Let's continue. For the record, I'm sorry, Your Honor. For the record, I stopped just after we finished the 2 sequences of Mr. Fung in the foyer. Let's just stop for a second. We're at 1742:53. I believe it's 10. And Ms. Mazzola, with respect to the package that we've previously asked you about, the trash bag, is the heft of that bag consistent with 1516 or the little cards that were contained in the driveway, the photo ID cards?
Objection, Your Honor. The picture speaks for itself. I don't think she's qualified to comment on the heft of the bag.
Total. She's carrying.
It does not appear to be consistent with 1516 or the number cards.
Now, when you say appear, are you referring to you're looking at the photograph?
Correct.
And what aspect of the photograph are you looking at?
The outline that is shown towards the front of the bag.
During the sequence where you're walking out of it?
Your Honor, move to strike. That's not heft now. We're talking about describing a form.
And is this the sequence where
Speaking
you're
objection.
walking out of what appears to be the gate area that leads up into the Rockingham driveway?
Correct.
Now, in terms of weight, when you were carrying the bag, did the weight appear to be consistent with only 1516 and the little cards?
It appeared to be a little heavier, but at the time I didn't think much about it.
Did you think that did you have any reason to believe this was going to be of any importance whatsoever later on?
No.
Okay, let's just finish up this little last segment. Your Honor, perhaps before I can ask my next series of questions, we can approach to clarify the scope of the permissible questioning.
What area?
15 and 16.
Next series of questions. This is a long one. They were there for almost, what, 10 minutes?
Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Thank you. Now I'd like to turn to the Bundy crime scene. You were asked about a white object on Mr. Goldman. Do you recall seeing any white object on Mr. Goldman?
A sheet, coroner's sheet.
When you were asked about a white object by the defense, is that what you were referring to?
Yes.
And when you say coroner's sheet, can you describe that a little bit more for us? What is it?
Just white.
Just a large white blanket type item.
Correct.
Did you get a clear look at that?
Not a clear look, no.
What type of a look at that did you get?
It's a brief look as they were bringing him out.
Now, you were asked about trace evidence in connection with the cap and the hat and the glove. Did you examine those items at all at the scene to see whether they had trace evidence?
No.
Do you examine items at the scene before you collect them for the purpose of seeing whether they have trace or biological evidence, such as those?
Biological evidence such as blood, for the most part, you can readily see. Trace evidence, you wouldn't be able to really see it.
But do you try to attempt a close physical examination of the items such as the glove and the cap prior to collecting them?
No,
Why not?
because you run the risk if you're examining it of disturbing trace evidence.
Now, I'd like to give you a hypothetical. If you assumed, for the purposes of this hypothetical, that the cap had hairs and fibers on it, the hairs being consistent with the defendant, and a fiber being consistent with the Bronco, but that the glove did not have any such items of trace evidence on it, then would the fact that you did not change gloves in between those items have had any effect in terms of contaminating the glove?
Sustained.
Would there have been any significance to not changing the gloves between the cap and the glove?
Objection still. Let's connect with the last
Sustained.
question.
I don't understand the grounds for the.
Grounds is that it's an inappropriate question for this particular person based upon her expertise.
You have been trained, you've received some training at SID in terms of the unintentional transfer of trace evidence. Is that correct?
Yes,
And you said that you did not change gloves between the cap and the glove. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Now, based upon your training and what you've been told at the SID Academy, would there be any problem for contamination or cross-contamination if the hat contained hair and Bronco fiber consistent with the Bronco, but the glove did not contain that kind of trace evidence?
Sustained.
Thank you. Now, when you were looking at the snippet of videotape that showed an item being passed between yourself and Mr. Fung, what color did that item appear to be?
It appeared to be a tannish color.
Was it consistent in appearance with the color of the eyeglass envelope?
No,
Now, when you had that item in front of you, I believe it was the item number 39, the eyeglass envelope, it was unpackaged. Did Mr. Neufeld attempt to touch the glasses with his bare hands?
he made a move towards them, yes.
What did you do when that happened?
Advised him it wouldn't be a wise idea.
Did he in fact touch them?
No,
And when you saw the bindle that was contained in that item, maybe I can have that. I think it's exhibit number 39. When you saw the bindle that was contained in that item, was that a bindle that either you or Mr. Fung created?
no,
Either of the bindles?
no.
I said en passant, and that was too much for him to handle.
Did you recognize any of the handwriting on those two bindles?
No, I did not.
Did you recognize the initials H, I think it was CL,
At that time, no,
or when you saw them in front of you on the witness stand?
I did not.
To your knowledge, is there anyone by the name of Henry Lee that works at the laboratory?
Appropriate for this witness.
Oral.
No one by that name works at the laboratory.
But yes, this does exceed the scope.
Oh,
What
I know
the
about it now. He just explained it to me. Capture in a
well-posted
pond.
issue of the contents of the item?
As to the envelope, yes, you may proceed.
Just so there's no ambiguity, when I was talking about the bindles, can you point out for us what items constitute the bindles?
The bindles are these small items here.
Appear to be folded up pieces of paper within the plastic envelope.
And to your knowledge, are items of evidence at SID made available for inspection and testing even by the defense?
Objection on beyond the scope.
Sustained.
Do you have any personal knowledge of everything that happened to this eyeglass envelope between the time that it was booked and the time that you saw it on the witness stand?
No,
You said that you took a look at the glasses that were inside of the envelope when you were back at the laboratory.
Objection, I wasn't testimony.
Oh,
not back at the laboratory. no.
Where was that?
At the scene,
Oh, it was
Bundy.
at the scene.
Correct.
And can you describe for us specifically how you did it, how you did that mechanically?
The envelope was not securely sealed, and through the opening, I could see a pair of glasses.
Did you remove the item?
No,
When you were looking at it, through what part of the envelope were you looking at it?
through the back flap area, which was not securely sealed.
Did you open it in some fashion to make it wider so that you could see better? Or
No,
how narrow was the slit through which you were looking at this item in the envelope?
rephrase.
How narrow was the opening?
I'm not positive about how narrow the opening was.
Can you give us an estimate?
Wide enough to see it was a pair of glasses.
Was it enough so that you could take a close inventory of the condition of the glasses?
Oh,
No,
Did you do so?
no,
And did you notice at that time specifically whether the glasses were intact or not?
I did not notice that they were intact.
Now, going back to some of the training issues that were brought up, when you were receiving your academic training in the college level, university level, did you receive any academic training in the area of crime scene investigation?
Beyond the scope.
well,
I did take 2 classes in crime scene investigation.
And where were those taken?
One was taken at a community college, and the other was taken at Sacramento State University.
Now, what was the nature of this training? Was it hands-on or was it more textbook, theoretical kind of training?
It was more textbook.
All right. And then you said that after you went to LAPD, you went through what you've referred to as the mini academy.
Correct.
And was the nature of that training more academic and textbook oriented or more hands-on?
That was more hands-on.
And can you describe for us the kinds of things that you went through in this hands-on training at the SID mini academy?
We learned how to take hair samples from suspects or victims, proper packaging of said items. We learned how to collect blood off of
She's the first witness that is turning completely to the jury and speaking to them whenever she's asked a question.
different substrates. We learned how to cast shoe prints out in dirt, which sometimes you have to do at scenes.
Invisible
Were
footprints.
taken out and we cast tire tracks. We were given demonstrations on interpreting tire tracks, the direction.
Now, when you were doing something like a tire track impression, did you do that inside the laboratory or in some outside location?
I bet you when the defense finally gets up, we're going to hear a ton more about invisible footprints that these people stepped all over. I just know it.
Beyond the scope. Irrelevant.
it's irrelevant.
Well, you were asked where these meetings took place. Did all of these meetings take place inside the laboratory?
No,
Well, I don't know it.
And you said that there was
Guessing.
a area that's a kitchen area of the laboratory.
it is an area where we have a small kitchen. It adjoins our library / meeting room / training room.
Is the library / meeting room / training room the area where these meetings took place, the ones that were inside?
For the most part, yes.
And do you think that the fact that there's a kitchen area adjoining that meeting room somehow caused you not to learn how to collect blood stains as well as if it had taken place in a conference room?
Sorry, I was being distracted by the photographers in the back.
Excuse me.
Hold on.
I'll ask you a few,
Hold on.
another question.
Rephrase the question.
This meeting / conference / library room, is it directly adjoining the area that's the kitchen? Is it in the same physical space?
Yes,
Right. And is there a microwave there and refrigerator and the like?
yes,
Okay. Do you think that somehow the presence of the microwave and the refrigerator caused you not to learn how to collect bloodstains as well?
no, it had no bearing on it.
Now, you were also asked whether this occurred in a separate building. Did it?
No,
Do you think that maybe if this had occurred in a separate building, you would have learned how to collect bloodstains or other kinds of evidence better than if it occurred at the SID facility?
I don't think it would have made any difference.
Do you think that if you had learned this in a dormitory type setting where they didn't allow you to go home between sessions, that you would have
I
learned?
think we're getting redundant at this point.
Okay. I probably agree with that, Your Honor.
Let's move on.
Okay.
At this,
Now, you said that you had
stop. That's so unfair. I can't believe you just did that. We just heard lawyer after lawyer after lawyer after lawyer after lawyer from the defense be nothing but redundant for 12 months now. Okay, it wasn't 12 months. I'm being a drama queen. The prosecution gets up and Judge Ito is like, oh, no, we're getting redundant now. You better stop. What the heck? I mean, listen, I'm glad Ito finally said it, but he said it to the wrong freaking lawyer. And in like an hour, we're going to get the other guy back up again, and he's going to be nothing but redundant.
temporary job at Kern County DA's office crime lab.
Breathe.
Correct.
Why was that a temporary position?
It was what they called extra help criminalist. It was a temporary position, and I was glad to get the job.
And when you say that it was a temporary position, did they have funding for a full-time position?
No, they did not have funding for a full-time position.
And for how long was it that you were hired when you were initially hired in this temporary position?
Initially, I was hired for 9 months.
And then what happened after the 9 months?
Well, before my 9 months were up, they said they had funding for me to come back for another 9 months if I was still interested in the job.
And did you in fact go back for another 9 months?
Yes, I did.
Did they have any funding to continue your position after then?
No.
And then after that, did you begin looking for work again?
Yes, I did.
What kind of work did you want at that time?
I wanted to work as a criminalist. That's what I want my career to be.
Is it your experience that the leading crime laboratories generally want people that have some previous experience in order to get a job?
The majority of laboratories were looking for people with some experience in the field.
And then you said that you got a job at Valley Toxicology, I think? Is that
Correct.
And was that a job that you wanted to stay at?
It was not a job I wanted to stay at for the next 30 years.
And when did you decide to go over to LAPD?
Well, I had taken the test for LAPD a couple of years prior to starting at Valley Toxicology, but I had heard of the budget problems, so I didn't think anything about it until I received a call asking me if I was still interested in a permanent full-time position as a criminalist with LAPD.
And when you heard that they had funding now for a position, did you decide to join LAPD, the crime lab?
Yes,
Why was that?
because it was a permanent criminalist position. LAPD had a good reputation, and
All right, we're beyond what we need to have.
Okay.
Proceed.
Your Honor, I was going to move on to another topic now. I don't know whether the court wanted to break. It's 4 o'clock or continue.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our recess for the afternoon session as far as the jury is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember all of my admonitions to you. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves, form any opinions about the case, conduct any deliberations until the matter has been submitted to you, or allow anybody to communicate with you with regard to the case. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Have a pleasant evening. All right, Ms. Mazzola, you may step down. You're ordered to return tomorrow morning, 8:45. Oh, got it. Thank you. And Mr. Darden, good morning, counsel. All right, we have the items of evidence present from the LAPD. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Exception of 3 control handles on item 7, 12, and 49, which I can cross counsel.
All right, and Mr. Neufeld, you wanted to inspect those items, and Mr. Goldberg, you wanted that done on the record. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's
Well,
proceed.
he hasn't inspected the items, but he wants to open them. Some of that was-
I almost never use my microwave ever, and I did today. And now you're talking about microwaves.
How many of these items do you need to see, to open to see?
I just wanted to open the corner envelopes for there's the 16 or so items.
How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 23 items.
Haven't you already been given the opportunity to do this
No, Your Honor,
previously?
oh, no, that's not the point here. The point is, before I actually display them to the witness, I just want an opportunity to make sure these are the same ones that I've seen in the past. That can take literally 7 or 8 minutes to do. I was here at 8:30 for that purpose, as you know, Your Honor. I can do it during a very brief recess between the end of their redirect and my cross. I just need those 7 minutes. So before I actually show them to the witness, I've had an opportunity to look at them myself to make sure they're the same.
All right, Mr. Goldberg, would you approach, please? Let me give you my scissors. You got 10 minutes.
Thank you very much.
We'll do it on the record. Do you need gloves for these things?
Yeah, what? We're not going to watch him do this for 10 minutes. We're
Right.
just not. I have the link in the description to the original video where you can go ahead and you can watch Mazzola open each envelope individually. Oh my gosh, it's more than 10 minutes. Hold on. We are at 1
Mr.
minute.
Goldberg?
20 minutes later, 30 minutes later.
We're just discussing that we don't have any seals to reseal the items, which we'd like to do after they're reopened because they are analyzed evidence. And Simpson just brought that to my
Here's
attention.
Mrs. Robinson,
All right, Ms.
guys.
Serve those items.
Ah, she's
I
gone.
would ask the court that since the prosecution chose not to use this evidence as part of its direct case with this witness, and I did ask specifically to use it for my cross, and I had to delay the end of my cross until they were produced.
I think she
for
looks
people
like
not be
Rachel
allowed to use
Maddow.
this for these items, refer to them on their redirect, since it's not something I went into on cross yet, and I would have been entitled to show them to the witness the first time on my cross.
Well, Mr. Goldberg indicated to me that he only had 20 more minutes. There's been no indication that he intends on using any of these items, so since that's a decision I don't have to make.
Your Honor, we had an issue as to items number 15 and 16, which the court asked that we bring
Yes.
here this morning and now have. I don't know what the court wants to
Have you
see.
displayed those to Mr.
Yes.
Neufeld?
This is item number 15.
All right, standard American Airlines ticket jacket with appears to be a ticket sticking out of it. or
Oh
these
no,
stub-
the airplane ticket. Oh no. Oh no, guys. It's about to go
Item
south.
Number 16, which appears to be a baggage.
Oh no, the baggage.
Is that
the
one of
baggage
those double
ticket.
stick
Oh
fold
no.
over barcode?
We can't handle this. We can't do this again. Not the Rosa Lopez fiasco.
Coded.
Right.
Noted.
No, it wasn't Rosa Lopez. Was it the limo driver? Was it Cato? Wow, gosh, who was on the stand when that happened?
All
I
right, Deputy
can't.
Magnera. I'm sorry, Madam Court Reporter. How do you want to split the morning? I'm tempted to just go straight through.
Finally, 43 minutes in. Hey,
Now, I was
Joshua,
asking you,
partying and Twitch.
Yesterday about this white item, the blanket that you saw in the vicinity or on Mr. Goldman at some point. What was that blanket again?
It was just a white blanket or sheet. I wasn't sure which one.
And was that something that came from the coroner's office?
Rephrase the question.
Do you know if that came from the coroner's office?
At the time, I did not.
All right, maybe we can see People's 99 identification.
Okay.
Okay, now, if you can look at the background of this photograph and take a look at the white blanket or white sheet that appears to have some writing on it. Is that what you saw?
I saw him on a white blanket or sheet.
Okay. And when you looked at this, did you look at this photograph prior to testifying today, the actual photograph as opposed to an image of it?
Yes.
And did you look at other crime scene photographs depicting the same scene or similar scene?
I had seen crime scene photographs previous, yes.
And what was the writing? What is the writing that appears on the right-hand side of this blanket that's somewhat blurry?
Yeah. On this image, it's hard to tell, but on the photographs, it appears to be from the LA coroner.
And is this consistent with what you saw when you were referring to a white blanket?
Yes.
Now, thank you. Was there another white blanket that was at the crime scene that was still there after the bodies had been removed when you were engaged in the evidence collection process?
Yes, there was.
And where was that white blanket?
It was on the walkway near the first steps.
Now, from your own independent recollection, based upon what you saw when you were at the scene, did you ever see that blanket on anyone?
From what I can recall, I did not see that particular blanket on anybody.
Either the body of Nicole Simpson or Ronald Goldman?
Not that I can recall, no.
Okay, does that mean that it wasn't ever on Nicole Simpson, or just that you did not see that?
I did not see that.
Now, you were asked some questions on cross-examination about your conversations with me, and you said that at one point you had been in the district attorney's office for perhaps 5 hours or so.
Correct.
Now, on the occasion or occasions when that happened, was that while you were waiting to testify?
Not, well, I believe on maybe one occasion it was while I was waiting.
And were people talking to you the whole time about this case, or what were you doing?
For the most part, I was left alone.
And did the defense attorneys ever attempt, to your knowledge, to contact you and say, we'd like to sit down with you and go over what we're going to question you about or talk about the case?
Sustain, rephrase the question.
Have the defense attorneys ever contacted you and asked you prior to today to discuss any part of the case with them?
No.
Okay. Today, did you have a little bit of a conversation with Mr. Neufeld about certain items of evidence?
Yes.
And other than that, is that the only time that you had an off-the-record conversation that you can recall with one of the defense lawyers
That I can
relating to the case?
that I can recall, I believe it was, yes.
Did you consider your conversation with Mr. Neufeld to be witness preparation?
No.
Was he asking you questions about, or can you just give us a generic or general description of what the conversation was about?
He was just asking about certain items of evidence, if I would unseal them,
He was asking what?
that if I would open them for him to see.
Was he asking any questions about those items of evidence, or what you put on them, or what they were, and so on?
Not really.
Your Honor, I wanted to ask some questions about 15 and 16 pursuant to our conversation.
All right, I think our agreed upon parameter is physical description, dimension.
Without telling us what these
Hold on.
items,
Hold on, Mr. Neufeld, do you want to talk with Mr. Cochran first?
Yes.
with the court order. All right, thank you, counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you recall, well, with regard to evidence collection items number 15 and 16, the parties, both sides, have withdrawn their objection to those items, so we will proceed with those items. All right, Mr. Goldberg.
Your Honor, then I'll mark as my next exhibit in order as People's 203,
203.
item number 15, and as 204, item number 16. I'm not going to write on these because they already have markers on them.
All right,
May I approach the list?
you may.
This is, I'll show you item number 15 and item number 16. Do you recognize those?
Yes,
And what are those?
they are the two items which were collected at Rockingham on the afternoon of June 13th.
And when was the packaging that they're now contained in? When were they placed in those packaging materials?
That happened June 14th back at the laboratory.
Can you remove the item from People's 203 for identification? That's number 15, and tell us what you're doing for the record.
I am opening the coin envelope and removing appears to be airline tickets.
All right. Maybe you can just hold that up so the jurors can see what you have. Now, when you were actually at the location, did you put that in any packaging material other than the plastic bag itself?
No,
Now, can you remove item number 16 from its coin envelope and describe what you're doing for the record?
okay. I am removing item 16 from the envelope. It appears to be a baggage claim ticket from an airline.
And was that placed in any other packaging material on the 13th when you were at Rockingham, other than the plastic bag itself?
No,
Thank you. Can you just hold up item number 15 one more time after you put 16 away? Just take a look at 163H for identification, the gray analyzed evidence envelope.
You want the item itself kept out?
Yeah,
All right.
I'd like to give you 163H. Maybe you can just hold the two of those up so we can get a relative size comparison. And neither that item that you're holding now nor item number 16 were placed in any other packaging material other than the plastic bag while you were at the Rockingham location.
correct.
Now, when you were carrying the plastic bag out of the location, did it feel to you like it weighed anything more than what you would expect with just item 15 and 16 and the little cards, collection cards?
It felt like it was a little heavier than it should be, but I didn't give it much thought.
Thank you. You can replace that item. Could you just hold up the envelope itself so that we can, no, the envelope, the coin envelope. Is that the type of coin envelope or one of the kinds of coin envelopes that you do have in your crime scene boxes?
Yes,
And where were those coin envelopes at the time that you and Mr. Fung recovered item 15 and 16?
they were in the back of the truck,
Locked.
locked.
Thank you. Now, turning to the Bronco search and collection of evidence, you said that on the pedals that you used the same swab for the purposes of the phenolphthalein test.
Correct.
Why was that done?
Mr. Fung just wanted to see if the pedals had been manipulated, as if someone had driven the Bronco,
As opposed to what?
as opposed to just getting in the Bronco and then getting right back out.
So you wanted to see whether there was any evidence of any blood on any one of the 3 pedals.
Correct.
And when he directed you to do this test, did you have any fear or concern on your part that if you suggested to him that 3 different swabs should be used, that he was going to say to you, I can't believe that you would question my judgment, I think you should be fired,
No,
or anything along those lines?
no,
And when you were doing this phenolphthalein test, was it your intent to collect anything, or try to collect anything from the pedals?
no. He said we were just,
Sustained.
You can just tell us what your intent was.
the intent was to see if the pedals had been manipulated. That was it.
And is it your practice not to collect every single last stain that you see in a car that contains many stains, such as the Bronco?
A representative sample of what is in the car would be taken.
And who was making the judgment call as to which samples to take and not to take from the Bronco?
That was Mr. Fung.
Now, I'd like to direct your attention to People's 195A for identification. This photograph is a little bit washed out. Have you had an opportunity? Have you had an opportunity to look at the actual photograph before?
Yes,
And was this a photograph that was taken on the 14th when you and Mr. Fung were doing the evidence collection at the Bronco?
yes, it was.
Now, do you have an independent recollection of seeing any of the stains that appear in the running board area of the driver's side door?
Not on the running board itself, no.
Let's take a look at 197 for identification. Now, with respect to the little stains that are contained in this photograph,
Objection, Your Honor, it's little stains.
Sustained.
Well-
Counsel, objection. And then I'll ask for the grounds, both sides.
do you see some stains that are contained in this photograph?
I see cards where there would be stains.
No, I'm talking about the area of the running board, the driver's area.
Objection has some characterization, some facts on evidence.
Rephrase the question.
Talking about the white metallic area that's in the forefront of this photograph.
There appears to be a dark spot on it.
Now, do you recall seeing that on the 14th?
No, I don't recall if I saw that or not.
And do you recall seeing any other spots in that area on the 14th?
No,
Now, when you say you don't recall, does that mean that they weren't there?
Objection, Your Honor.
Rephrase the question.
When you say you don't recall, does that mean that you looked in that area, examined it, and that they weren't there?
it means I don't recall if I saw stains there or not.
And prior to looking at the crime scene photographs, did you have any recollection as to the rear gate at Bundy being there?
No,
But does that mean that it wasn't there?
Objection, Your Honor. Yes.
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Does that mean that you looked and you examined the area and that you saw that there was no rear gate at Bundy?
I did not remember seeing a rear gate at Bundy.
But do you now know that there was in fact one there?
I know now that there was a gate, yes.
And prior to seeing the videotape of yourself collecting the glove at the Bundy location,
I think
did you,
we've asked this question already.
not in this context?
We asked the same question though yesterday afternoon in a similar kind of context.
Well, you testified yesterday that you didn't have an independent recollection prior to seeing the videotape of collecting the glove at Bundy. Does that mean that you didn't collect it or you remember not collecting it?
Objection.
Counsel, we've already been through. You've already asked that question.
Now, who was doing most of the work in terms of trying to identify stains on the Bronco prior to the actual physical collection of the stains?
Mr. Fung,
What were you doing?
I was passing him the photo ID cards, doing the sketch, helping with measurements, passing him supplies as he needed them.
Now, Ms. Mazzola, with respect to the stains that are in this People's Exhibit 197 for identification, did you ever consider at all testifying that you did see them on the 14th?
Objection.
Ground. Full roll.
If I didn't remember seeing them, then that's how I would testify. I didn't remember seeing them.
And you never thought of saying, yeah, I do remember seeing them to help the prosecution's case, did you?
No.
Now, I'd like to ask you some questions about the collection video, the blood collection video that was played. That's defense 1117 for identification. And I'd just like to play it all the way through, and then I'll ask you some questions about what we saw. In this scene where you're pouring some items out into the cap, what are you doing?
I am putting some of these swatches into the cap so I could pick them up with the tweezers.
And now you are doing what?
Adding a drop of distilled water to the swatch and shaking it out.
And now you've placed the swatch down, and for what purpose is that?
To take a control.
And this is right by the card that says number 5.
Correct.
And you just put it into a object. What did you put the control swatch in?
It's placed in a small plastic bag.
And that had some writing on it.
Correct.
What was the writing?
The item number and C for control.
So that's all you have to put on there is item number and C for control.
Objection, meeting.
Sustaining.
Is that all you have to put on there? Just the item number and the C for control?
Yes.
Now what did you just do?
Clean the tweezers again.
And now you are placing the swatch down on the stain.
Correct.
Now, when you were handling the swatch with the tweezers, what portion of the tweezers comes into contact with the swatch?
The extreme pointed end.
Are those tweezers, is there anything special about them that distinguishes them from ordinary tweezers?
Well, they're extremely sharper and they have a longer area where you would handle the items that you need to.
Are they serrated at all so as to be able to grab things? Or are they just smooth?
So we have some that are serrated, some that are smooth.
But these particular ones that you use for this task are the smooth ones.
Those are smooth.
And now what are you doing?
Placing the swatch with the item in a separate plastic bag.
What does that plastic bag have on it?
The item number.
But it doesn't have a C.
No.
And why is that? Why do you put a C on one and not and just the item number on the other? For what purpose?
All I do to designate the control. That's the only reason.
Couldn't you designate it even if you didn't write that on it?
For the most part, you can tell if a swatch has blood on it or not, but I just put a C.
Makes it easier.
Yes.
Do you write your initials anywhere on those plastic envelopes?
No.
And when you got up, you touched the ground. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Does that sometimes happen at a crime scene where you will touch the ground for whatever the reason to balance yourself?
Touch the ground or something to maintain your balance.
Does touching the ground have any impact in terms of the evidence collection?
Objection to the call.
Overruled.
Not really, no.
Now, what are you filling out now?
It could be another envelope for the next item.
Objection to speculation.
Overruled.
When you looked at this videotape, does it look like you have more than one item in your hand? Yeah, okay. Right now.
Yes.
What items do you have in your hand?
A plastic bag and a coin envelope.
And what do you write on the plastic bag?
The item number.
What do you write on the coin envelope?
The item number.
And in this case, that would have been 6.
Correct.
And what are you doing now?
Cleaning the tweezers again.
Now, between the time that you cleaned your tweezers and the time that you picked up this next swatch, did you ever touch the tip end of the tweezers that comes in contact with the swatch?
No.
Is that the way that you do it at a real crime scene too?
Yes.
And now what are you collecting?
The next control.
And you just put the swatch, the control swatch where?
In a plastic bag.
And is that designated in some way, again, to separate it from the stained swatch?
It has the item number and a C on it.
Now you're writing on another plastic bag.
Correct.
You just wrote the item number and is that it?
For that one, it would be just the item number.
And again, you dropped a swatch in this video. Did you try to recover that swatch or did you just leave it on the ground?
Just leave it on the ground.
Now you're having a little bit of difficulty getting this off the tweezers.
Correct.
But when you look closely, did you ever touch the swatch with your gloved hand?
No.
Or did you ever touch the area of the tweezers that comes into contact with the swatch?
No.
Is that consistent with your practice at a real crime scene?
Yes.
Now this swatch seems to be soaking up a little easier than the other one. Is that correct?
It appears to be yes.
Thank you. Now, I want to ask you a few more questions about the videotape. First of all, in this videotape, did your gloved hands ever come into contact with a swatch?
No,
And when I say that, I mean a swatch that was used for either a control or for collecting a stain.
no,
And towards the beginning portion of the videotape, do you recall a segment where your pinky was somewhat extended, almost as if you were holding a china cup?
I recall it was extended, yes.
Now, what were you doing with your pinky in that particular segment? You were also asked about it on cross-examination.
Just helping to turn over the lid of the cap.
I've seen bigger.
And when you reviewed the video, did you review the videotape again after your testimony?
Yes,
Could you actually see the cap being flipped before it was put on back on top of the
The good news is yours is bigger than all your friends.
bill box?
yes,
And is that also your practice at a crime scene, that in terms of the swatches that you're going to use for controls or stains, that you do not touch them with your gloved hand?
they are not touched with our hands, no.
When you watch this videotape, was there ever a time when you touched with that you would use to collect either a control or a swatch after they were cleaned, but before the swatch was collected?
No,
And is that also consistent with the practice that you use at a crime scene?
yes,
Now, on stain number 5, the demonstration stain, do you know from viewing this videotape for sure whether or not the moisture from the control swatch did eventually migrate over to the stain?
from the videotape, it looked like it was coming close, yes.
It could have.
It could have, yes.
Now, does that present a problem when you are collecting evidence?
Not really, no.
Why not?
Objection, no foundation.
Sustained.
Okay. Well, counsel gave you a hypothetical where he related to you a set of facts under which the swatch came into contact with your hand and then was placed as the substrate control down on the cement. And then the water migrated over to the stain itself. You recall a hypothetical along those lines?
Yes,
Under that hypothetical situation, is there any danger
And
of
gorge, yeah.
contaminating the item being collected? Just saying.
No foundation. This wouldn't-
Or
very little, if any.
And if this control swatch were in fact contaminated, could that be tested for by testing the control swatch?
Objection, beyond scope of for expertise.
foundation, sustained.
Sorry.
Well, have you been taught what the control swatch is for?
We have been told what it could be used for, yes.
And when it gets back to the laboratory, what do the people in serology use those control swatches for?
Objection.
Rephrase the question.
Do you know what the people in serology use those for?
I know they are used to see if anything in the background would interfere with the tests they were going to run. And they can also be tested for contamination, DNA, whatever.
And if the control swatch was in fact tested and it was determined that it did not contain biological material, would that indicate that you did not contaminate the control swatch and hence the stain?
Objection. That's all.
Or
Yes,
Now, with respect to swatches that are dropped, if you drop one of the swatches and you just leave it on the ground, can that somehow affect or contaminate the stain that you're collecting?
if it is just left on the ground,
Right.
no, because it wouldn't be used.
Is there any significance to that at all that you're aware of based upon your training and your experience?
No,
And when you were testifying on direct examination, do you recall being asked a couple of questions about different things that could conceivably happen while you're collecting a stain?
I think so, yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to read from page 23,700.
what volume is this?
No, we already heard the testimony. Don't read it again. Don't you
Volume.
dare read that testimony again. I
What
swear to
volume?
God.
This is volume 130. I'm going to start on line, well, actually, I'd like to start on page 23,699 on line 27 through line 6.
Mr. Neufeld? Do you have the page? Correct.
Ozzy, you're out of
Redirect
bits?
examination was beyond the scope of redirect examination.
No, it was, he got into this on cross.
It's prior consistent statement. It's hearsay. There's no inconsistency.
No, but it's not
Let me see
being,
counsel timer.
thank you.
I don't get it either. I don't know how it works. I just don't. I know I sent bits to Chilled Chaos, like when Texas was being flooded. I sent bits to Chilled Chaos, but I did it from his stream. I went to his live stream where he was raising money for Texas, and I clicked the button there to send him bits. I don't know how to buy bits ahead of time and then use them. I've never tried that. I probably should have some bits handy in case I need them.
Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
On direct examination, were you trying to in any way conceal or minimize different problems that can happen when you're collecting a stain?
No,
And is one of the things that could conceivably happen dropping tweezers?
it can happen, yes.
And did you admit that on direct examination?
It's hearsay.
Did you make any effort to conceal that during direct examination, that could be a problem?
Overruled.
No,
And do you know for a fact whether or not you did drop any tweezers at the crime scene at Bundy or at Rockingham?
I do not believe I did.
But if that problem does occur, how do you handle it?
Clean the tweezers.
So this is a potential mistake that could occur while you're collecting evidence. Is that correct?
It's not really a mistake. It can happen.
Okay. But it couldn't have any impact on the evidence collection.
No.
Now, getting back to the control swatches, I wanted to show you the evidence collection board. I think it was 177. Excuse me, it's 167.
Mr. Goldberg.
Remember, if you just logged in, this is her creating a demonstration of how to collect a stain. This is not her actually collecting a real stain at a real crime scene. It's just her showing them how she does it. No contamination is going on of real evidence at this demonstration. It's just fake news.
I'm going to ask you questions about cell number 8 on this board, so you may have to step down in order to see this. On cell 8, do you see that there are the two little white items that are sort of in the area that's framed by your hands and your body?
Yes.
One of them seems to be closer to your right knee, and the other one appears to be a little closer to the edge of the corner envelope. They're both on the cement.
Correct.
What are those white items?
They appear to be swatches.
And if someone had asked you to look at this photograph and said, what are those items and how did they get there? Would have you told them that they fell out while you were taking them out of the pool?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
What would have you told them?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
All right, that's okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm finished with the board. I'll take it.
Thanks for wasting our time there. Thank you. No one has even asked her if she uses blue or black ink on her pens yet.
Let me ask you about another issue relating to the collection of biological evidence. To your recollection, has there ever been an instance where you had the tweezers in your hand with a bloody swatch and dropped the bloody swatch?
That hasn't happened to me, no.
And if that did happen, how would you handle that situation?
Well, if there was enough of the stain left, you just take another swatch.
Okay, but what if you wanted to save that swatch, the one that you dropped?
Then you could package it in a separate plastic bag, separate coin envelope, along with another control of the area where it fell, make a note on there what happened.
And why would you take another control?
Well, to get a sample of the area where the swatch fell.
So what would you do, to give you another hypothetical, if you had a situation where for some reason you dropped a bloody swatch and instinctively you caught it in a gloved hand? How would you handle that situation?
Same way, except you just include the glove as the substrate.
So you could include the glove as a substrate control?
Yes,
So there are ways to deal with problems, even such as dropping a bloody swatch.
yes.
How would you package the glove if you saved that as your substrate control?
That would be packaged in a separate plastic bag, separate coin envelope, just to keep them separate.
Or could you conceivably take a control swatch from the area of the glove nearby where the stain fell?
You could, either way.
Now, with respect to your evidence collection of the blood stains at Bundy and Rockingham, are there any mistakes that you can think of that you could have made that could have caused the blood at that location to somehow change into the defendant's blood?
Objection, Your Honor. The foundation.
Sustained.
Are there any mistakes that you can think of that you could have made that could have caused those stains to become contaminated in such a way that they had the same genetic markers as the defendant's blood?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Are you aware of any mistakes that you made or could have made to contaminate those stains?
No,
Now, once you get back to the laboratory with these stains on the evening of the 13th, did you play some role in the drying process of those stains?
yes,
And then on the 14th, to your recollection, did you play any role in the packaging of the dried stains?
Objection beyond the scope of cross-examination to date.
Oral.
No.
I may have.
And was there something else that you were working on involving a case that was separate from this at or around that time?
Yeah, yes,
Did that involve any biological evidence?
no.
Now, when the items are packaged during the drying, after they're dry, into bindles, what information is placed on the bindles?
The item number and C for control on the bindle containing the control swatch.
So is that similar to the same type of information that was placed on the plastic bags at the scene?
Yes,
Do you have to distinguish necessarily between the control and the stain swatch?
it just makes it easier for the serologist.
And when you're participating in this process of packaging the dried stains, is it your practice to initial the coin envelopes?
Yes,
And is any other information placed on the coin envelopes?
the property number, which is usually different than the photo ID number, but not always.
Is any DR number placed on those?
Yes, the DR number for the case is placed on each envelope.
And based upon your training and your experience, is the coin envelope what is used in order to determine what case those stains came from and where they were found at the crime scene?
It contains the information necessary, yes.
I think that's all I have. Let me just check. You said that you generally initial the coin envelope?
At booking,
Yes.
It is initialed.
And do you have to initial the bindles necessarily?
No,
Oh,
no, not necessarily the bindles.
But you do place generally the item number and then designate the difference between the control and the stain
Correct,
on the bindle.
correct.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
2 minutes or 10 minutes? Oh, I see. Okay. Folks, we'll take about 10 minutes. All right. Please remember all my admonitions to you. We're just going to recycle into recross. And just for your information, because of the lost time we had this morning, we're going to resume this afternoon at 1 o'clock rather than 1:30, so a little shorter lunch break today. All right, Ms. Mazzoli, you can step down. 10 minutes.
Well, I wish they
Sure.
would have had
All
the
right. Thank you,
stamina to make it
All right.
before they took a break, but they didn't. So we're going to stop 3 minutes early today. Please use that 3 minutes wisely. Please go and do something positive for 3 minutes. You know that thing you've been putting off for 6 months. Take that 3 minutes right now and just go do it. It's all it's going to take is 3 minutes. Then you'll be done. Love you, bye. Love you, bye. Love you, bye. I'm so glad you guys came out to OJ. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. I'll see y'all soon. Bye, guys.